In the northwest, where COSATU will hand over a memorandum of grievances to the provincial government in Mahikeng, marchers are expected to gather at the Montshioa Stadium this morning. Sellwane Khakhau is there. Let's cross to her live now. Sellwane, a very good morning to you. Have COSATU members arrived yet at Montshioa Stadium?
A very good morning to you, Desiree, and the viewers of SABC News. Indeed, as you rightfully did say there, that we are coming live to you from Montshioa Stadium. And yes, some members of COSATU have started to arrive. As you can see there in the background, they're still trickling in one by one. And we're also seeing taxis that are ferrying people to this area. What we understand about today's march here is that there is 6 key issues that the members of COSATU as well as SABC will be marching against, and those issues include, amongst others, corruption within government and also the issue of gender-based violence. But to hear more about these issues, we joined now by the provincial secretary of COSATU here in the northwest, Kopano Kunupi. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Let's just elaborate on these 6 key issues that you're marching against today.
Thank you, Sellwane. We are marching here today on 6 key issues. Primarily, it's about occupational health and safety in the workplace. Our workers are not safe in the workplaces. They continue to die, and they are not provided with PPE during the COVID. We are also demanding safe, reliable public transport and the subsidy in the public transport industry. We know that in South Africa, the taxi industry is the biggest industry that is transporting workers on a daily basis, but it remains to be very unsafe, very unreliable, and very unaffordable for our workers to be transported. We also marching in terms of the demand of the respect of collective bargaining. You saw that this year the government didn't want to honor the agreement that was signed in 2018. So we say if government cannot respect collective bargaining, the private sector will also follow suit. And we demand this, that collective bargaining must be respected because it's a hard-won right. Again, we marching in terms of the job losses. We know that many companies want to retrench. The private sector, the state-owned entities, Telkom, SABC, and many others, the SAA, want to retrench, including the hospitality industry want to retrench. We say unemployment is at all-time low, and we cannot afford any more job losses and retrenchment. We also want to march against gender-based violence. We have seen that gender-based violence is almost at the level of the disaster in our country. Almost every hour, a woman or a child is being raped, killed, or violated in many forms of or the other. We say there must be an end to that in gender-based violence. And lastly, we want to march against corruption. We know that corruption steals from the poor. We have seen that from the report of the Auditor General this year that no municipality in the Northwest got a clean audit, and there's a lot of maladministration and fruitless and wasteful expenditure in the municipality. This is a sign of corruption. So as COSATU, we have said that enough is enough, and workers of this country are always at the receiving end, and they do not benefit, while the politicians and many other people continue to benefit from the wealth of this country, and they continue to put up their bank balances while the workers do not benefit from that.
Yeah, Mr. Kunupi, I'm glad that you touched on that issue, because here on the ground, when we're speaking to just ordinary members of COSATU and other unions, one of the things that they are highlighting, which seems to be a big concern, is the collective bargaining. We are told that we won't get increments, we won't get this and that. But every day we hear stories about corruption, billions and billions that are being stolen from ordinary people. What is it that you as the trade union are doing about this, apart from just today's march? Action on the ground, what are you doing?
What we want to do is say government must act and must be decisive on the acting against corruption. Those who find themselves with their hands in the cookie jar must be arrested. We want to see more high-profile people being arrested who are involved in corruption. And we want to see action and real action where people can get arrested and be convicted and get a jail term so that we can be seen that we are serious about the fight against corruption. We know that workers, the inflation continues to increase while workers do not get their salaries, and this is affecting them in terms of their livelihood. So we are saying that it is high time the state, the government and the ruling party become serious about corruption. Otherwise, the people of this country have had enough in terms of corruption, because they do not get service delivered. They cannot get water, sanitation and houses and many other services that comes to them, and the money goes to corruption.
Thank you very much. The Provincial Secretary of COSATU here in the Northwest, Kopano Kunupi, saying that they want to see more arrests of people that are involved in corruption. What we understand is that the march will move from here to the Mabato Convention Center, where a memorandum of demand will be handed over. And so we're going to keep it there. For now, we'll still keep you updated. Studio, that's how we're going to wrap up now. It's back to you.
Thank you so much, Sellwane, and thank you for the update from Mahikeng.